Good evening, and thank you for your attendance this evening. Today is Tuesday, February 27th, 2025. The time is 6:30, and I would like to call the Town of East Roy Special Town Board meeting to order. There is an amended agenda, so please make sure that the agenda that you're following is the amended agenda. All items are up for discussion, consideration, deliberation, and possible formal action. First item is to call to order and roll call. Church here.
Leonard here.
Reyes here.
Johnner here. Wales here.
Welcome, Chad. Nice to have you back. I have to apologize, when I set the agenda, I forgot to include the pledge. If you don't mind, please stand and say the pledge.
Yes.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Chairman Church,
Yes.
YouTube is having a problem. If you could hold for a minute.
Your patience, please.
Okay, so it's doing it. It's not, it's spinning. The audience settings. Yes, that's fine. Everybody's being very patient with us. Just, thanks for joining us.
We're trying to connect to YouTube. YouTube is knocking us off and on, so that's what they're working.
What are we watching?
Yeah,
Oh.
to put it on video so that it can be downloaded.
tested this exhaustively today because we've had, one time it worked, one time it didn't, one time it worked. Ever since we went to YouTube, it's had more problems than when it was just connected to Facebook. So,
Does it have something to do with everyone's phones in here?
no, because now we're hardwired in, so it doesn't have anything to do with that. It's the YouTube connection. We don't know what's going on with it. We've experimented with a number of things, and it's just been one problem after another since we went to YouTube.
It's actually something to do with YouTube.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's working now.
Yep.
All right, we're good.
All right, we are back in session. Thank you for your patience. Thank you to those viewers at home who are watching. Ms. Buchanan, have we met certification of compliance with open meeting law?
Yes, we have.
Thank you very much. Item number 3, motion to move March 2025 regular town board meeting to March 24, 2025. This was done at the last town board meeting. It was not properly noticed, and so to correct that lack of notification, we are doing it in open session tonight with it being noticed on the agenda, so.
I'll make a motion to move the March 2025 regular town board meeting to March 24th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Item number 4, discussion on items to move to include on the 2025 annual meeting agenda. I would like
So far, I have obviously last year's minutes,
Yep.
the 2024 audit, by our Baker Tilly partner, and then wake boats and seaplanes.
Okay.
Anything,
I wanna make sure that on the wake boat thing, that there cannot be any action,
it's
right?
an
It's
advisory.
information only, correct? From the
It's
public
it's an advisory
To
vote.
us.
to us.
Correct.
So there.
The town residents can't make that action. You guys have to make the action.
Okay.
So they're just advising you how they all feel.
Okay, alright. I wanna make sure that that's,
It might be helpful to
can we put that
What-
on? What will be the
It will
question?
be, it will be.
Yeah.
I'll do
advisory.
a much better description. I'm just throwing out the basics.
Yeah, I just don't wanna get into that argument during that meeting, you know what I mean, so as long as everyone.
So
knows
what
that.
exactly will be the questions to the electors here?
It will be, it'll be like, we'll have options like a A, B, or C, D kind of option, ban completely. And this is all up for further discussion by you all, but like ban completely, ban with restrictions, or allow with restrictions,
Yeah.
open,
We'll have to
whatever.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah, we'll have to just.
And y'all need to think about what you think about those,
So
so.
that'll have to be on the March agenda again.
Correct.
Will we have time to have that on the March agenda? Cause don't you have to have it in the
That's
paper?
right.
Cause we're so late.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, the agenda has to be,
The annual meeting has to be posted.
it has to be posted on the 24th, so,
Shouldn't we listen to what the electors have to say first and then come up with those, ban or no ban?
Yeah,
yeah, but we wanna do an advisory question at the annual meeting, so that the voters can have input, so we're gonna have to, if you email me your comments, I can, put them
incorporate
all
it
together
into a
and
question.
make sure we're hitting all 4 options, so.
And Supervisor Leonard, when you get that advisory vote from the electors, you're not making the decision that night as a board.
Correct, understood.
So I will send out an email asking you for your options.
Anybody else have any annual meeting item to add to the agenda? Hearing none, we'll continue on. That takes us to item number 5, Beulah Heights Culvert Emergency Repair. DPW Superintendent Shield, could you come enlighten us?
I was informed on Monday.
Ms. Lowe, could you advance?
Yep.
Yep. We had this head wall on both sides slated for repair this year. We budgeted $35,000 for repair. Notified on Monday that we actually had a collapse. Last year, there was probably a 2-foot by 2-foot piece that had fallen out in that same spot. So I'm guessing the freeze thaw, it just blew out with the rain that we had the other night. Cause now it's starting to impede on the roadway. I met with Craig Webster from the DNR, met with Tim Lynch, that does a lot of our engineering today out there, and trying to get somewhat of a plan together, cause all our stream crossings and all that throughout the whole township are this type of head wall, this old 100-year-old stone and concrete, no rebar, no mesh, no fiber mesh, I mean, old land and stone, field stone, whatever they can throw in there with some sand and water. But we have to address it to a higher extent now to do a permanent fix on it, so it holds the road up. Talking with, Tim Lynch today, he's gonna try and get us a proposal together, and he's thinking somewhere in the neighborhood of $100,000 for each side. And that's a permanent fix.
Do both sides need to be done at the same time?
Looking at the other side, this would be on the north side, opposite of the lake's on the south side. There is starting to be we just noticed it today, I forgot to take pictures of it. There's a spot that's about to do the same thing.
Okay.
And that would be, if you're looking at the lake, it'd be on the southeast corner.
Yeah, I think I shot the north side.
Yeah, that's
not
just the north side, yeah.
South.
The culvert and all that itself, when we had it inspected, we did a 16 to 20 foot bridge, or not bridge, culverts last year. And this one we actually had inspected by the state through Core Engineering. And the culvert and all that itself was fine, it's just their main thing was the head walls that were getting so deteriorated.
And the head walls are what support the road.
Yeah, that holds all the embankment up and keeps everything from washing out.
And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Webster said that if there is a collapse, it causes problems with the environmental stabilization.
Yeah, just a
of the lake
stabilization of the ground.
and navigation.
Yeah, and a lot of that now with the debris has fallen in and is partially blocking that culvert, so that's gonna impede boat traffic trying to get through. And I had further discussion with him this evening about removing that, and he says that's not gonna be a problem, you just gotta, get some permits, so. But this is gonna even be outside of the $35,000 that we had budgeted to fix it, so.
Time frame?
I will not know that till I get a proposal from him. Right now, we have it all sandbagged along there to keep water from washing down over farther. It's now gonna run a little bit farther to the west and run down to try and keep any more erosion from that. The ground itself there with Craig and myself and Tim Lynch is pretty stable. It's clay and, good soil, so unless we get big gully washers before we get in there. But we're gonna try and get some more sandbags filled and try and brace it all up in there to try and hold it all in place. Unfortunately, this is beyond our scope of practice and repair that we could do. Now it's up to an engineering to get what needs to be done. And so it's gonna be an emergency repair and an emergency cost.
Are there safety concerns?
As of right now, no. The one thing that we did talk about, Mr. Lynch and Craig, is maybe shutting it down to 1 lane. And lowering the speed limit to like 15 through there, just till it's fixed. There's a lot to do with vibration of road,
Right.
putting a weight limit on it. Our weight limits are going on tomorrow anyways, so at least for probably a month's time, we're gonna be limited to 8 tons anyways.
What happens if we get a foot of snow? We gotta get snow plowed down through there.
We'll get through. It's, like I said, as of right now, we don't plan on shutting it down to 1 lane.
Did Mr. Lynch give any idea of a time frame,
He's hoping to have a proposal to us by early next week,
a proposal, and then,
with cost and all that, so.
and we haven't done our borrowing for this year, right, so.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not gonna be
fire district and plow truck and
Yeah.
squad situation that will have to hire now.
But it's just, it's getting it on your guys' radar that this needs to get done, this is something we can't put off. Yeah.
Mr. Webster from the DNR called me yesterday and said, this is a priority emergency to address.
But he said, I've been asking about it for about 3 years ago, we started talking.
We started talking about it.
Started
yeah.
talking about it, cause these cracks, actually live in the channel, and this is my only way out to the lake. These cracks have been growing quite a bit each year, and if we have winter, we have freeze thaw, that's just a part of it, and like Todd said, these are original deals, it's nobody necessarily anybody's fault, but this is something that's been coming, that's been discussed, and I know Craig said it was fine, I think it was like a year ago, it looked to be in decent shape, it was behind that spot where that one deal blew out, but
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just got a little tiny rock wall, and where the
Yep.
water runs off, it hits that wall, and it actually runs down behind it.
Yep, and I've got caught in big rains, and if you're looking at this picture to the left where the water runs down off the road, there's a small culvert to divert it so it doesn't go over the bridge. I mean, it's really cool, but it is a waterfall. I mean, there is a lot of water in big rains that come
Yeah,
down through.
unfortunately, that's right at the bottom of a pretty good steep hill.
Yep, exactly.
So it sees a lot of water, and it's split both ways,
Mm-hmm.
because the south side is not in much better shape.
You know, they usually have to refill the driveway each year, because just washes it out on the opposite side,
Yep.
typically, but there is a lot of neighbors that have called, since this picture came out.
Okay.
And, there is a concern for safety, but, B, just something to consider, because we can discuss this, right? Because we're on the agenda, is, when that comes time, or, everybody, probably have more people coming when this is on the agenda, but being able to get out, in and out for the summer is, everybody loves boating, is gonna be a concern when they're doing it, I
It
understand.
very well probably will be impacted by some sort.
But I
As
don't,
far as not being able to get through, I couldn't tell you yes or no until.
sure, until you get plans and figure it, but I'm just saying, these questions are gonna be coming, and they're gonna be coming quick, even if there's a temporary, and I don't know the rules and regulations, but even a temporary mooring during the construction process, if people can't get out of the channel with their boats, is it a possibility of a temporary mooring just outside when you come out of the channel? I'm just trying to think ahead, just so people can prepare for that, that way everyone can still utilize the lake, it's a bit of an inconvenience, but obviously this is something that needs to be done, but, if we try to work together with fixing it and trying to keep a few people happy, that would be great too, just. keep it
One
going.
oddball with this is where that collapses is actually outside of our road right away. So it's gonna be working with landowners on both sides. We're gonna need construction easements, and it's gonna be not just a quick fix anymore. What we were gonna do anyways was gonna be a Band-Aid for who knows how long.
Yep.
It's eventually all of these little head walls throughout our whole township are gonna have to get something done.
Mhm.
We have another one that's starting to happen over on Carter School Road, but we think we can fix that, we have 0 to 10 today.
Sure. Is this, how far are we out of the road right away? It's gotta be close, right?
The right of way through there is almost just the edge of the road.
So,
Is-
the edges of the road?
Yeah,
Okay.
I pulled it up on GIS, it would be on the northwest side, it jogs towards the gentleman's driveway, and on the southeast side, it jogs out, it kinda shifts through there.
Yeah.
But right through there, the edge of the road is pretty much a road right away.
Gotcha, so it is placed where it's supposed, I know like a lot of these lake roads, when I was looking at easements and such, like the road in front of my house actually should be 30 feet into the neighbors, just because when they originally two rough paths, they just paved them.
Yeah.
Paved what everybody was using, but they're not actually where the road belongs, which is
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So funding wise, we're looking for, when you're saying, looking for neighbors like the gentleman in the blue house, and then on both sides of the channel, are you looking for
It's gonna be on basically all 4 corners. We're
the
gonna
four
get some-
corners? I just didn't know if you wanna talk to the residents that they utilize that, or whatever the case may be.
No, it's gonna be landowners that
Directly right there.
directly adjoins that property.
Cause it's an easement on the northeast, across the street, directly across from where
Yeah.
that fell in.
Yeah.
That's an easement right there on that corner, so.
Alright, just to summarize, we have Lynch doing the engineering, hopefully early next week, it'll be to us.
Yep.
And then we'll have to decide next steps.
Yeah, it'll have to go out on bids, but he said with this being an emergency, there's a lot of things that'll change because of the importance of the stabilization of the road.
Can I ask, one thing, when they do the bid, can you have them break it down if they did it one side only as
Yeah.
opposed to both?
Yeah, I
And
talked
if
to
they
him.
had to come back, just so,
Yeah.
cause I assume we'll save money by doing both at the same time than doing one side and then having to come back. Just so everyone
Yeah,
realizes that.
yeah, cause that went through my head, I'm like, okay, we'll do one side this year for $100,000, another side next year, might not be $100,000.
Right. Or maybe they'll do savings to do both sides.
Cause they're already gonna be there.
There.
You fix one side, is it gonna put more pressure on the other side also?
Correct.
And busting it out, the vibration when you know it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's.
The other question that had already come up, was you have to be able to travel through there, obviously, right, with homes, cause that's the only way to get that direction. It wouldn't be a shutdown of road, I mean, there would,
Uh,
restricted,
Down
but-
one lane.
If anything, it'll be down to one lane, barring no major catastrophe,
Sure.
hopefully.
right.
Otherwise, there is a way through to do, try and get an agreement to put a temporary one through, then that involves the other landowners on the actual lakeside, put a temporary bridge in, which is one thing we're trying not to do.
That doesn't sound expensive.
So, yeah, but
Back
as far as
back, yeah.
completely shutting the road down, that'll happen, that will never happen, it should just end up being one lane. I mean, it's slow speed, we might even end up reducing the speed limit down there to 15,
Sure.
if that happens. It's just, it's such in a bad spot right at the base of that hill.
I hear you. Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you for your quick action. Alright, any other discussion on item number 5?
Will we need to plan another special board meeting anymore?
It's a possibility once we
Assuming that
get
the
the
proposal
proposal
is
from
on
Lynch.
I don't know, when we get it back, depending on how quick we get it back,
And you'll have to put it out for bid.
Yeah.
And then once we get bids back,
Okay.
then we have to meet again.
Meeting.
So the 24th might.
it might be. So, and Tim said that this could happen in as little as 2 weeks, because of being an emergency situation.
Item number 6, discussion, review, and scoring of Beach Road Bridge proposals. Alright, this is, in regards to the Beach Road Bridge that is just out here. The town received a grant for that. In order to accept the grant, we needed to evaluate we needed to choose 3 designers from the 9 proposals that were submitted for the bridge. 4 of us met last night, that included Superintendent Shield, Ty Leonard, myself, and a resident who is a civil engineer with a road building company. So he is very familiar with not only the Beach Road Bridge, but what needs to be done. And so the 4 of us, went through and evaluated all 9 proposals. We have whittled it down to 3. Michelle and Joey, you weren't there, if you want to, when we get to, I'm gonna do the 3 that we chose. If you have comments on those 3, feel free to share them when we get to that company proposal. The presentation doesn't have them in any specific order. It was recommended that we go with 3 and we interview 3. I know that, yesterday, Mr. Shield met with the county and, DPW Superintendent Rich Huff and engineer,
The county highway engineer Joel Kroll.
also took a look at the proposals. They cannot tell us which ones to go with or not choose. But they did look at the proposals and give us some suggestions. So as a group of 4 last night, we went through and met the first one. We're gonna do an alphabetical order. Our first proposal came from Ayers. That's the first one that, we're gonna present. The pros were the explanation they gave us was detailed. They offered alternative designs. They looked at other costs such as moving utilities and how many utilities there were. There was also lots of bridge experience with that proposal. Michelle, Joe, or Chad, do you have anything that you might want to add to theirs?
Yeah, I would agree, that it was well put together, very detailed. Although, my sourcing side said, well, they're incurring costs with the format that they had. Well, maybe I'm thinking of me, not one. But, yeah, I thought it was very well thought out. The only thing I noted was, in the schedule, we had talked about the 30%, 60, and 90% plans. And Ayers, wasn't kicking off until July of 2025, I think most of the others were earlier than that. But they did not include the 30 or 90% plan, only the 60% plan, and that wasn't until September of 27, which seems far out compared to some of the others.
Okay, Joe?
Like Michelle said, I guess that's about where I was at. I narrowed down, what I did is I narrowed down my 3, I don't think I had them in my 3,
Okay,
so.
Chad?
yes.
I just, from what I was looking up, they're big. Your proposal started looking a little bit of the same, I did have a couple notes on other ones, but no, I have nothing in particular on that particular.
Mr. Clarkowski did look at them, he rated them 2, 3. He said that, he gave them 10s, which is how the DOT would rate them on project team, experience, and availability. The advantage that they had the most year of experience, doing lots of DOT projects, but the project manager had the least number of years of experience, so that was what came through on Ayers.
It was nice that